Welcome to the Community Difference Wylie, powered by the Difference Media LLC, and hosted by Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, and also sponsored by Janice Greenly with Greenroot Capital,
and by Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services.
The Community Difference Wylie was created to serve as a platform for local leaders and business professionals to showcase their expertise, values, and commitment to their community. Overall, the podcast aims to create a stronger sense of community in North Texas by highlighting the often overlooked or unnoticed good work being done by local leaders, businesses, and professionals. So sit back and relax as our host, co-host, and their guests share inspirational stories, experiences, thoughts, and insights about being a professional, along with the opportunities for our businesses to serve our communities in very special ways. Because the Community Difference Wylie starts now.
Well, good morning, Wylie, Texas. Welcome to the Community Difference Wylie. We're a podcast that's rooted at the intersection of business development and community involvement. I'm your host, Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, where life is relationships and everything else is just details. I'm excited to be here as the host of Community Difference Wylie podcast, where we'll introduce you to some of the business owners that make Wylie, Saxe, and Murphy areas awesome place to live and work, and we'll keep you up to date on what's going on in the area. We've got a stellar lineup for you today. We'll dive deeper into our business topic for October. We're talking about brand relevance, the overlooked piece to effective branding. And to help me introduce the topics, I'd like to bring in my co-host. First is Janice Greenly with Greenroot Capital. Janice is the founder and leader of Greenroot Capital, specializing in acquiring high-demand multifamily properties and innovative storage facilities.
Hey,
With a
Scott.
focus. How are you, Janice?
Good. You can stop with all that baloney.
All right. Well,
It's all good. It's just me.
so what's one thing you like about living and working in the Wylie, Saxe, Murphy area?
Our community. I mean, the people. It doesn't feel like we're in the DFW Metroplex, even though we are. It feels like a small town. We're so supportive of each other, and I don't know that we would get that everywhere.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I love about working with the businesses around here, working with the chamber. I was at the chamber luncheon the other day, and it was awesome. I mean, There were people from everywhere. So
Love the people here.
next, we're going to introduce Harvey Loosier. I just learned how to say his last name correctly. With Twilight Cleaning Services, he is a new co-host for the show. He's also the co-owner of Twilight Cleaning Services, which is a family-run commercial janitorial company with over 13 years of experience serving businesses in Rockwall, Wylie, and the surrounding area. So he's got a background in retail. He leads Twilight with a focus on safety, excellence, and community impact. He's also a dedicated leader at his church, High Point Church, and an active supporter of local youth programs. So welcome to the show, Harvey.
Well, thank you, guys. I'm glad to be here. How are y'all this morning?
We're great.
We're doing
How are
great.
you?
Good.
So what do you love about Wylie, Saxe, and Murphy?
You know, I'm right there with Janice, that small town feel that you get with Wylie, and I also like the aspect of what the city can bring in and do, like the things that they do downtown. And we'll talk about that a little later in the What's Up, but there's always something going on in Wylie, and I just love it.
Yeah, one of those downtown things is the 500 pedal car race.
Yeah.
There is a FireBoss Realty pedal car, and it has won the race a couple times. Just gotta say.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Actually, it was a 5-year-old driving the car. It had nothing to do with the car. It had to do with the 5-year-old that was in it. The first guest I want to bring in is Ian Jones with Integrity Mortgage Corporation of Texas. Ian's a home loan expert with Integrity Mortgage. He brings a wealth of experience since transitioning into the mortgage industry in 2019, which you jump into mortgage right before COVID. That's pretty bold. He's a Plano native and a resident of Wylie. So welcome to the show.
Hey, welcome everybody. What's going on?
We're doing all right. How about How about you? What do you love about Wylie and Saxy, Murphy?
Well, I'm going to go off the path here. Honestly, when it comes to Wylie, we moved back to Wylie from Plano because the schools that were required for my son were a lot better. So Wylie, I mean, community insanely great, small town feel. But I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than getting the right services for your kid within the school districts of Wylie.
Yep,
That's
and
right.
they've got a lot. There's a lot to be said there.
It's phenomenal, and people are easy to approach. It's still got the small town feel with big budget.
Yep. And Janice, who do you have with you today?
Well, I have a phenomenal young entrepreneur. Molly's a talented hairstylist. She's got 2 years of experience. She specializes in cutting edge styles and personalized hair care. She is self-employed. She's passionate about her craft, and recently she showcased her skills at Dallas Fashion Week 2024. She's dedicated to helping her clients feel great with every appointment. So Molly, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, Molly, how are you?
Good. How are y'all?
Doing great. How do you love working in downtown Wylie?
I love it. So I grew up in Wylie. So for me, it's like watching the growth from when I was little to now is crazy. So I just like being here, seeing everything change.
Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Who do you have, Harvey?
Well, I have Miss Mary Ann Olson, and if you don't know who she is, you're really missing out. She serves as the membership and ad sales coordinator for the Wylie Area Chamber of Commerce. She's dedicated to fostering connections with the business community. Mary Ann also plays a key role in helping the chamber achieve its mission of creating opportunities for local businesses to connect, grow, and thrive through networking and education. So welcome on, Mary.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you asking me to be on. I'm excited to be here. And you guys, I do have to apologize. I am recording from my home today. Got the call about 30 minutes after I got to the office, the chamber, and sick kids. So welcome to my home.
It's
That's
lovely.
working mom life, isn't it?
It is. That's mom life.
Well, I think we're going to go to the first break. And after the break, we'll come back and talk about what's happening in Wylie, in the Wylie area.
The Community Difference Wylie is made possible by Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, Janice Greenly with Greenroot Capital, and by Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services. The Community Difference Wylie. Together, we can make the difference. And now, back to the show.
Are you ready?
Because it's time for
What's Up, Wylie?
So what's up, Wylie? So this is the part of the show where we talk about what's going on in the area and what people need to know and what events are happening. So Janice, why don't you kick us off?
All right. Well, I always have a ton of stuff, but I'll keep it brief if I can. First thing is traffic, tons of road construction. So avoid Parker Road between downtown and Country Club. It's shut down much of the time. The Brown House has their fall exhibit open. So they change it up seasonally. It's time to go check that out. If you're a local Wylie resident and haven't been there, I recommend you go. The Wylie newspaper is writing an article focused on local holiday crafters. So if you fall into that group, they are looking to talk to you. So check them out on Facebook, respond to things where they're asking for you to reach out, see what it's all about.
And then that's at their Facebook page?
It's on their Facebook page, correct. Wylie News Facebook page.
Okay.
And I'm sure you can call their office at 972-442-5515 and ask for somebody if you'd like.
Okay.
And then finally, I'm really excited about this one, Wylie Nutrition. Another local gem. They are doing some pop-up Christmas shopping or holiday shopping. So they're partnering with local vendors that don't have a storefront. 2 to 4 vendors every weekend for jewelry or whatever will be at their location on Brown Street. They're at 501 West Brown. So if you're a vendor and you are looking for a place to showcase your stuff, reach out to Wylie Nutrition on Facebook or Instagram, or drop in. And if you're not a vendor, but you're a shopper, go see them every weekend for the rest of the year and see what they have to offer, and see if we can't shop small and bring some business to our local folks.
That's one of the things Janie's really good at over there is she opens up her shop for everybody.
Absolutely.
She has it, and everybody's welcome to use it. But just go talk to her about it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think we'll go to Harvey. Hey, Harvey, what do you got?
Well, tonight we have Boo on Ballard from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. This is a trick-or-treating event on Ballard Avenue from Highway 78 to Brown Street. As local merchants, nonprofit organizations, they hand out a ton of candy, and then you have your little ghouls and goblins out there, of course. And so as you're there, be sure to go to the Cross Church, which is right next door. The location there, I think, is on Marble Street. But be sure they have a trunk or treat going on at the same time, so be sure to pop in there as well.
Yeah, boo's a big deal. There's lots of kids there.
So many kids. It's so much fun. I've been going since I was a kid, so.
And if you ever want to just get a ton of candy for your kids and then be able to maybe even nix Halloween day going trick-or-treating, this is literally the best option. I almost had to tell my kids, hey, we'll go trick-or-treating, but you can't get any more candy.
Yeah.
And don't forget the roads close at 3 or 3 to 4, maybe 4. They close at 4. So if you're stuck downtown, you need to make sure and either kind of take off or be, parked by that time. So.
That's right. And don't go through downtown at all this afternoon. Just avoid it completely if you can.
Yeah.
That's good. And also this Sunday, if you're looking for that trunk or treat, Gateway Church will be hosting a trunk or treat. It's a free event that includes decorating trunks with games, prizes, and candy. They have inflatable face painting, a hayride, and so much more. And so that church, Gateway Community Church, is located at 2201 Country Club Road in Wylie, Texas. So come on out and join them and have a good time.
Yep, that's always a good one too. And I was talking to Blake; he was pretty excited about that one.
That's all I got, Scott.
That's it. All right.
Yes, sir.
Miss Marianne.
Yes,
If
sir.
y'all don't know Marianne, she does the Wylie Chamber, and she knows everybody and everything. She's kind of a rock star in Wylie. So
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
I don't know anybody that doesn't love Marianne.
Y'all are too sweet. I appreciate it. No, there are so many things going on. And I'm actually lucky because working at the chamber, we do get the ins and outs of everything that's happening. And I love it. One of the things we talked about earlier was opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity in Wylie, and no matter what you like, what you don't like, what you want to get involved in, there's something for everybody. And I'm just going to name a couple things. So tomorrow is the Pirates Cove Park grand opening. As a lot of you guys know, back in May, they actually tore down the old one that I think had been around for like 14 years. It was super cool. Lots of people had their names on posts and stuff like that. But tomorrow they're going to have the grand opening, 3:30 to 5. Funny enough, our last issue of the Connection magazine, when it was a magazine only, had the old park on it. So go out there, take your kids right after school and go celebrate with them, with the city. It's very exciting stuff.
I went to dinner with Scott and Judy Williams, and Judy was kind of the driving force behind the original Pirates Cove Park.
Yeah.
She has an awesome story about, and she was crying when she was telling me that she heard they were tearing down the old park. And she went home and said, Mr. Councilman, I just heard this. I didn't hear it from you. What are you talking about? But then
I wouldn't have told her either if I were him.
The story ends up, she went out there and she saw all these people playing and all generations, and met some people that had played there since they were kids, that were adults now bringing their kids back. And so she loves the new park now too. So Pirates Cove Park is a big deal, and it's been around a long time.
It definitely is. I think Ann Heine, our creative designer, was actually involved from the beginning as well. And I know it's a big deal for them. I mean, to see it come and go and to know how many kids have played on that playground. I mean, it's right there, right next to the stadium. It's a big deal. So y'all just try to celebrate with them tomorrow. It's exciting stuff for the entire city. So another big thing that we have going on that is going to be a little bit bittersweet. So Tuesday, November 19th, we have the chamber breakfast. Normally every month we have a luncheon, but November's always been a breakfast. And it's to benefit the Wylie Community Christian Care Center. There's a lot of C's in there. But it is a little bittersweet just because the founder of the Wylie Community Christian Care Center, Mr. Raymond Cooper, did pass away a couple of weeks ago, as a lot of people know. And so we want to honor him and obviously help out all of the families in need here in Wylie. And so we ask that, you come and join us for the breakfast. If you bring 10 canned goods, you get a voucher for a free luncheon in the future. So, it's kind of a win-win. And then, don't forget, though, you do have to register. That is the most important thing. We don't do anything with money when you're there, nothing like that. So make sure you register online at wyliechamber.org if you can attend. We'd love to have you. And it will sell out. It does every year. There's only limited space.
Do they have any kind of canned foods they're preferring?
You know what? I will check their website while we're talking. So that way I do. Actually, they jam or jelly, plastic containers, please. Boxed dinners, hamburger helper, tuna helper, canned chili, pasta, peanut butter, bags of rice, 1 or 2 pounds, mac and cheese, mustard, ketchup, mayonnaise, ground coffee, small containers, please. Tea bags, canned chicken, shampoo, deodorant, razors, and bath soap. So pretty much all of the everyday staples, so anything that you can bring, if you don't bring the 10 canned goods and you bring something else, it doesn't matter. Bring it and we'll definitely give you that free luncheon voucher. So I hope everybody will join us there. And then Friday, December 6th, we are having an Elfin Gala and Award Celebration. You guys, this is just kind of a fun event. It's our award celebration. So obviously we're going to honor our chamber members, small business of the year, big, large business of the year, that kind of stuff. But it's also an opportunity for some fun, some games, to bring the spouse, build those relationships, right? Sometimes the spouses don't get to get involved. They're at their job or they're doing what they need to do. So we're going to be having that at the venue at Boyd Farm. If you guys have ever been out there, it's beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous, right off of 205. If you haven't been there, stop by, see Elena. She's amazing. But yes, that's a chance to, and it's also, I will say, a chance to get a little dressed up. I don't know how many opportunities during the year you guys get to really get dressed up, but I don't get that many. So I'm very excited. And I know it's become kind of this is our 3rd year, I believe, a kind of a tradition to get dressed up and have some fun. So, one other thing I did want to note, I know we have to hurry, but I wanted to let you guys know, check out our events calendar on wyliechamber.org. It is not only the chamber calendar of events, it's all of our members as well. So if it's red, blue, or green, it's a chamber sponsored event. We're putting it on. But if it's white, that means one of our chamber members is having an event. So on almost any given day, you can go to that calendar and say what's going on today, and you'll be able to find something in the community.
Awesome.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
I guess I'll throw in a few. If you're in Saxe and you live anywhere around the Woodbridge area, a lot of times we're going to cut through with Bailey Road to get down to Saxe Road, take Merritt off to get to the highway, and the end of Bailey Road is closed. If you didn't know that, you can get there. It's just closed at the very end. Anthony Lane is the last road that cuts in there. I a lot of times it's got speed bumps on it, so I don't like speed bumps. I would go Anthony, go around the speed bumps, and then cut on. From Anthony to Saxe Road is the part they're working on right now. That's phase 1. And they say that could be closed all the way through the end of December. So if you're on that side of town, you might want to consider going a different way, or you're going to end up getting Anthony Road turning and going back to 78 probably. Now, I got this other one. Do any of y'all like haunted houses?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
Absolutely.
Okay. There is one, and I hear it's pretty good. I'm not a haunted house kind of guy, but I hear the J&F House of Terror is like pretty awesome. It's over at Firewheel. It used to be in the burger place. Pete's Burger and Wings is what it used to be. It's 695 Town Square Boulevard in Garland at Firewheel Mall. It's right by the fountains and the apartments and the park and all of that. So there's a lot of restaurants and stuff right in through there. So if you wanted to go make an evening of it, get dinner, and then go get dinner scared out of you, that might be a good place to go.
You should go get scared first and then go to dinner. I'm just saying. I'm a planner.
Okay, go get dinner.
Yeah.
Go get scared and then go get dinner and get drinks.
Right.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's right. Yeah, reverse that order.
All right.
That as well.
So you can wind down and relax.
They've been doing it 10 years. This is their 5th year over at Firewheel, and it's been pretty busy. They do have some, they call them survival rules: no purses, no handbags, and no weapons are allowed inside. Apparently, some of the actors inside there are scary. They are not allowed to touch you. Just know that going in. You can get tickets online. It's recommended for 14 years and older. If you're younger than 14 and you've got a parent or guardian that's going to be with you, you can go. But if you don't have a parent or guardian, they want 14 and up. You can get tickets at jnfhouseofterror.com. You can buy them online. They do take cash at the door. It'll be running through November 2nd. So if you dare go, good luck making it out with clean britches, I guess is what they're talking about. Their goal is to just scare the fire out of you. And then the last one I have is the Saxey Animal Shelter is having a grand opening. They have just redone the entire animal shelter, state of the art. The community's invited to the grand opening, and that will be at 6436 Saxey Road on Saturday. So the 26th is when they're having the grand opening from 9 to 12. And I just saw a Facebook post this morning about that said that Kane Russo will be having free food out there for you. So if you haven't tried their pizza, they're going to be out there with, you can go sample some of their pizza. It'll feature the ribbon cutting. There'll be guided tours of the facility. There'll be giveaways, free adoptions. So if you're looking to bring home a furry friend, there'll be free adoptions out there. Grand opening t-shirts while they last. But it's a great new facility that's got new spaces, play areas, all new adoption areas. And it's pretty fun if you've been to the old one. When you go see the new ones, it's pretty nice. I was an Irving fireman for 37 years, and when they did their grand opening, Winston, the life-saving dog, did the ribbon cutting.
Oh. And
I got invited to go because Winston, it was a pier and beam house. It was Christmas. A spark came out of the fireplace and kind of got between the wooden floorboards, and everything under the house was on fire. And Winston didn't like the floor being hot, so he jumped up on the bed. And when they tried to kick him off the bed, he wouldn't get off the bed. And that's how they found out their house was on fire, was Winston would not get off the bed. And when they stood up to find out why Winston wouldn't get off the bed, the floor was hot. They got out. So I contacted the fire chief, and the fire chief gave Winston a life-saving award. There were state representatives there hanging medals around his neck, free registration for life. It was like a big deal, but Winston got to cut the ribbon for the animal shelter. I don't know who's cutting this ribbon. I don't know if it'll be an animal or not, but that was kind of a fun ribbon cutting to go to, and I got to go because I had turned Winston in for his life-saving award. But pretty fun stuff. You know, it's kind of silly sometimes, but it's pretty fun. Anybody else have anything else for What's Up, Wylie?
We're good.
Hearing a bunch of quiet. We're going to go to a break, and when we get back, we'll dive into our topic on branding. So we'll see you.
And now a word from a few of our amazing sponsors that make the Difference Radio, live stream, and podcast network possible.
Total Care Emergency Room now has 9 locations in the DFW Metroplex. With no appointment needed, our incredible staff will get you checked in with no wait times. Our 5-star facility is open and fully staffed 24/7. We offer extensive treatment options for patients of all ages, providing on-site labs and imaging equipment, including CT, X-ray, and ultrasound, allowing us to provide fast, convenient care for our community. Total Care ER is your neighborhood emergency room. TotalCare.us.
Unwanted pests in your home can be stressful. From creepy crawlies to critters under the floorboards, they disrupt your peace of mind. But don't worry. All Pest Solutions is here to help. We offer a comprehensive range of safe and effective pest control solutions. We target all types of pests, big or small, including insects, rodents, and wildlife. All Pest Solutions, your local experts for a pest-free home. Breathe easy and enjoy your life again. Call today for a free quote. 972-442-1169 or email us at customerservice@allpestsolutions.com.
To belong is one of our most basic human needs. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. We focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, and inclusive living. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
And now, back to the show.
Well, welcome back. This week, we're talking about brand relevance. That's the overlooked piece of effective branding. So, when you hear effective branding, what do y'all think about?
I think top of mind, top of choice, right? The person that comes to mind immediately from what they've done, something maybe within a community or anywhere else for that matter.
Absolutely. Yeah. It can be logo, it can be advertising, it can be just their reputation, combination.
Yeah, definitely like personal appearance, how you carry yourself and your brand.
Marianne, you look like you got something on your mind.
No, I would just agree 100%, when it comes to branding and it comes to your own business. And, there's a lot more than just the logo, right? I mean, I'll use you, for example, Scott, FireBoss Realty. I mean, your name alone, right, tells a story about where you came from, where your family came from, what you've been doing and that kind of thing, what you're passionate about. And I think that branding includes a lot more than just what you see, but it's what you're about, how a brand makes you feel, what you're involved in, and a lot more than that. So definitely.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's a good definition of the branding. So this month it's brand relevance. So I'm going to add the second word to it. What's the difference between branding and brand relevance?
So I personally think that brand relevance, it's some sort of a connection, right, between something and something, right? So Scott, not to pick on you at all, but FireBoss Realty and me, now knowing the backstory after, looking you up and things like that, I'm like, wow, I mean, this really connects with me in a way I didn't know would connect with me, right? And so now that I know that, in the back of my head, I mean, literally anytime, no joke, through the last couple weeks before leading up to this, anytime I saw a fire truck, I saw anything having to do with emergency services, I thought of FireBoss Realty immediately. And I was like, oh, dang it, it worked again. Stop it. Stop doing this. Stop, But, I mean, that right there is kind of a brand recognition plus relevance, right? Because then it ties it back to you and what it is that you do. And it's always popping up in my head. And I'm sure that's worked wonders for you over the years.
It has been good. And the fire service is the most trusted brand on the planet. Yeah. I mean, like literally, they're the only people you're going to let in your house when you can't be in there. But they've worked a long time, and that's kind of who we hire, which is why I continued the brand. FireBoss is actually the name of the first fire truck I ever rode. It was the manufacturer, so that's where that came from. But brand relevance. How about the rest of y'all? How does the relevance part play into branding?
Well, it has an impact to our core values with our business alone.
I like that. Can you expand on that?
Well, I mean, like for us, for example, with our current business, we like to strive to be a servant to the community and to our clients. So we do that through building relationships with them. And so being relational, just having that conversation with them and just being consistent about just building that relationship with them.
Absolutely, especially locally as well. If you're, we're not a small town technically, right? We're we're a medium-sized town, but I feel like when you're either starting or you have a small business in, a small town, that kind of thing, or a medium-sized town, you have to be locally relevant, right? I mean, people want to know, what are you involved in? What do you support? They'll see your logo all day long, but they'll also see you on the PTA thing, or they'll see you at the football field, or they'll see, that kind of thing. So I think locally, it takes on a different meaning as well, a lot more extensive. So
yeah, and I think that's the difference between relevance and recognition. You might recognize somebody or something that they do, but how does that make it relevant? So I guess I'll bring Molly into this conversation. What kind of unspoken needs do your clients come to you with, and how does your brand meet them?
I think a lot of times unspokenly people are just wanting to feel better about themselves, like wanting to have like a better representation of themselves. So you kind of just have to make them feel good so that way they can represent themselves. And that's a big representation of my business. My clients are walking advertisement. So making them relevant makes me relevant.
Absolutely. I would say, and I don't know, this is just my opinion, but I think Molly's business, for example, is one where brand relevance is also very much about appearance. It is very much about the look and the feel. We were chatting and just kind of getting ready for this over the course of the last couple of weeks. And we were talking about different things. And Molly mentioned a story. I thought it was really interesting how she says, she has to be relevant to whoever her audience is. And when someone walks into her salon, they're all different. Right. Every hairstylist is dressed different. Their cuts different, all these different things. And people are drawn to those that are like them. And so she has to be relevant to her audience. And she has to know who her audience is and be comfortable. Molly, I want to bring you in a little bit about and let you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so I feel like it's really important to be like your authentic self when it comes to being like your own brand, because people are going to go to what they're attracted to, what they're drawn to. So like for me, like wearing like funkier clothes, more people are approached, like they feel more comfortable to approach me and come to me, and having people come and feel welcome is super important. And then they can ask for whatever they want.
There has to be a trust there too, because I know my wife, she's just not going to go to anybody to have her hair done. She wants to know that it's going to get right, and it doesn't end up looking like Scott Johnson's head. I mean, it's at the end of the day, she is putting that into your hands, so there's a trust factor there.
There is a trust
absolutely
factor. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you don't want to look crazy, like you want your clients to come in and be like, oh, she can do my hair. Absolutely.
So
that's sort of like Ian's haircut myself.
You two don't get an opinion on this subject.
I heard another bald guy one time say that there are perfect heads, and then there are those that have hair on them.
Oh.
The ones with hair on them, Molly will make those look way better.
Yes,
that's right.
So when it comes to unspoken needs, Ian, since we brought you in with your haircut, how do your clients during the loan process, how do you meet those unspoken needs that we were talking about with Molly's clients?
So one of the things that we're really big on as a company is that people go through the experience without ending up looking like us from pulling out their hair, right? Not to bring it full circle, but that's just realistically where we're at. So our entire process from start to finish is about ease for the client, right? And in order to do that, you got to have good rapport, and you got to make them feel comfortable, right? Because they're revealing everything about their lives to you, right? Every financial piece, their credit, everything about them you are diving into, right? And so it's really helpful to come at it from the approach of, hey, we're in this together and we're working as a team. There's no judgment here. It's a judgment-free zone. And I think that really resonates with people through the process, because not only is it simple, but it's a judgment-free zone through the entire process. And people like that. And word spreads when you conduct business in that way. And that's how, integrity as a whole has just remained its relevancy throughout years and years and years. It's the ease of use for clients and for anybody that we do business with.
I agree. I agree with that one 100%. Especially, again, it's a totally different business, but that trust factor, oh my gosh, that's huge.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they're trusting us with literally every piece of information down to, I get everything, right? You get a lot of the stuff, but we get everything. And if we don't have a level of trust that's inherent, right? Integrity could be the name of the business where I work, but people trust Ian at the end of the day, not just Integrity Mortgage, right? So it's about your company, who you work for, what they're like, and of course the people involved in that company too also continue to propagate your brand relevance throughout.
Yes, and you want to be a trusted partner with that, not just a vendor.
Exactly, 100%.
So how does the chamber stay relevant to local businesses?
Oh man, we try. I tell you what. No, and just a little back history. Some chambers have been around for 100 years, right? Chambers of Commerce is not a new thing. It's not a new business. It's not a new outlook. But over the last 100 years, now the Wylie Area Chamber, which originally started as the Wylie Area Chamber, I think we were developed in the 80s. But I'll be honest with you, the first chamber I ever worked at, I had to Google what is a chamber of commerce. I'm 43 years old and I didn't even know what they did, right? But I knew I wanted to work for one. So, but what I would tell you is that over the years, chambers have had to learn very quickly to adapt and change and continue to stay relevant, especially with social media that has come up and now AI, all sorts of different things. Just specifically this year, we're very lucky. We have a great leader. We have a great board, great volunteers. Just this year, we had to rebrand. There were many reasons for that. Our logo looked a little tired. It wasn't necessarily, it didn't pop at you anymore. It wasn't visually appealing to look at, in today's standards. We also had to rebrand because we are now Wylie Area Chamber of Commerce. We wanted to make sure that everybody knows, like, hey, we don't just support and help and all that for the local Wylie businesses. We're the Wylie area. We pull from a lot of the smaller communities. There's a lot that don't have any representation. They don't have any consistent networking opportunities for small business owners or business owners in general to get together. And so part of our rebrand was saying, hey, Wylie area, we encompass a large area outside of Wylie. So, that was one of our biggest things. And we've had to stay current as well, stay relevant as well. And I think a lot of that is supported and helped by the fact that we have great partnerships. Partnerships for businesses are massive, especially when you're in a town like Wylie. We're very lucky. We get to work with the city of Wylie, the Economic Development Corporation, the Downtown Merchants, the ISD, the college. All of these major entities that are, ultimately we all have the same goal, right? We just represent different segments of the city. And so we are able to stay relevant in that aspect too, because we're able to work together to ultimately come to a common goal of, hey, let's do what's best for everybody in the city.
I would say also that the chamber has done a really good job of helping businesses stay relevant to our community. More than anything else.
And we try as well. I know we do, some of the things that, I'll tell you one way we do is surveys, right? We're asking our members all the time, like, hey, what do you need? What are you looking for? What's important to you right now, right? And I know change can be difficult, right? It's the one thing that never changes. We're always going to have to change and adapt and grow. But that doesn't mean everybody knows how, and I think a lot of people just sometimes people just need a nudge. Some people need actual support and help and guidance and really good referrals. And so when it comes to trying to help the members with that, some people will look at social media and think, oh my gosh, it's not for me. I'm not going to touch it. Right. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. Right. Let's keep you relevant. Let's find somebody that can help you with that. Let's connect you with somebody that, they may end up doing it for you, but hey, that's okay, right? Because your brand can take on a whole new outcome, look, sales will go through the roof, that kind of thing. If you can, reach out and maybe just find somebody that can do it. So,
and there's actually a term for that. It's called empathy-driven relevance, where you see somebody has need, and then you can meet that need. That's one of the things that I really enjoy about the Wylie Chamber, is you do see people that are stepping up to help other people in completely different industries. I mean, you look at the panel we've got on the show today, and we're all in completely different industries. But when it comes to this particular brand relevance topic, we can see and understand that, okay, there are just things in business that they're common across all segments. So a lot of us get into what we do various ways, but I guess I'm going to ask Molly, you've been in this, I guess you went to school when you were 19. Is that correct?
18. Yeah.
18.
I graduated
And
at 19.
how old were you when you started your business?
19.
19 years old, starting your business.
Yes.
And that just, I just got to applaud for that, because we've got a whole lot of people that aren't willing to jump into business like that. But there are things in business that you don't know when you jump in.
Right.
And so what was it that you discovered that you were going to need help with, or someone to help you with? Because that's what we're talking about. That's what Marianne brought up.
I needed a lot of help from the more experienced stylist as far as like what I needed to get started. So you have like your blueprint from the school, and that is nothing compared to everything that you need to actually start your business, as far as like branding, tools, appliances, products. That was all stuff I had no idea about. And then social media is a big thing, which is like a whole nother job I didn't realize I signed up for. Whenever I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna start my business, well, now you have to market and advertise and doing all those things. I had no clue, but learning all those things was definitely an experience. It was a lot of work.
And was the other stylist or did you have other business people, or
Yeah, so
who did you go to?
There's two owners like that we rent from. So everyone in the building works for themselves. So there's two owners that have both been in the industry for like 20 plus years. They were very, very helpful as far as giving me advice and helping me get set up, especially when it comes to like even like financial things like my taxes and doing things like that, because I didn't realize I had to file independently. Everything was so different. Like I was 19, I had no idea. Like
it's really great having mentors, though, isn't it?
Yes,
so that,
absolutely.
If you can find somebody that's willing to bring you in and support you, then it helps you focus on building your actual business and not stressing on all the other stuff if you've got somebody to walk beside you and give you a hand.
Yes, exactly. And they only wanted to see progression and growth for my business. So having them help me with things like, oh, hey, just do this or just try this. It made things a lot easier having people like lead me on.
Great.
I've never been told no by a mentor. I've had so many mentors over the last 20 years, y'all. It's unreal. And some of these people didn't even know they were my mentors, right? They didn't realize why I was coming to them and asking all these questions or sitting down with lunch. And no, there's not many that will actually say, hey, no, I don't have time for that. Or no, and so it is so important to get mentors, people that you can look at and you think they are better than me at this. I have to become, I have to stay relevant. I have to do this. These people are better than me. Let me go to them and just see, hey, will they help me? And sometimes you need somebody else to foster that connection. And that is 100% okay. But a lot of people will stop before they even go do that because of, fear and, oh, I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm doing. Well, hey, sometimes we all don't know what we're doing, right? I mean, it happens. So I think mentors are priceless. And can I just shout out to the younger generation right now? Because I tell you what, Molly, I have been more than impressed with I don't want to call you guys kids, adults. The adults I'm serious. Like the adults that are coming out of high school and college right now, I mean, they're on a whole different level, you guys. You want to stay relevant. talk to them.
That's right.
I mean, they've got so much in their brain. I mean, they had to learn math a whole different way, right? Like they know so much more than we do, and they can kind of complement in different ways. So I feel like staying relevant is also not only listening to the older generation and how things have been and are, but also to make sure that we take that opinion into account of these genius adults that are coming out of school now that just have a totally different outlook on things.
I agree.
And don't be afraid to ask, even if they're in your same industry. Don't be afraid to ask them those questions and get that mentorship.
Yeah, mentors are important. And I've got a book on my bookshelf. It's like probably 15 years old, but it's called Reverse Mentoring. And it actually encourages guys my age to go to the Mollies of the world and say, hey, your world is completely different than mine. And you grew up in a different world than mine. And tell me what I need to know now that I don't know.
That's
because just because you're older doesn't mean you're smarter. It doesn't mean that you understand what's going on. So I think we're going to go to a break now. And when we get back, we'll go dive a little bit deeper and kind of a little bit more of the personal experiences on how y'all deal with brands and brand relevance. So we'll be right back.
Everyone deserves access to affordable health insurance, but with traditional insurance, costs can be high and getting coverage can be complicated. JP Direct Health is a simpler, more affordable way to get the health coverage you need. With plans for individuals, families, and small businesses, you can save money on monthly premiums without the need for physicals. At jpdirecthealth.com, we specialize in customizing coverage to fit almost every budget with affordable PPO plans and many other benefits. With over 100 5-star Google reviews, JP Direct Health is a trusted resource making health insurance affordable and accessible for everyone year-round. Affordable health insurance solutions are a proactive protection, not a reactive solution. Visit jpdirecthealth.com today and see how much you can save.
I'm always here to help. Thank you.
Enjoy DFW's most fun, affordable night out and catch the Rough Riders, the AA affiliate of the Rangers, at beautiful Riders Field in Frisco. Get your tickets at ridersbaseball.com. The Frisco Rough Riders, the future stars of your Texas Rangers.
Are you or someone you know pregnant or planning to conceive? Caitlin Smith is both a certified childbirth doula and instructor offering childbirth classes to couples wanting an unmedicated, physiological birth outside of the hospital setting. Caitlin has served the local community since 2021 and specializes in working closely with midwives, all while best supporting a mother's physical body, her partner, and the birth environment. You can contact Caitlin through Instagram at thismamadoula or email her at caitlinsmithdoula@gmail.com to learn more about childbirth classes or her doula services.
Are you looking to buy a home? The process can be daunting, but it doesn't have to be. With the help of a qualified loan officer like Paul Fisher, you can get the financing you need and get into your dream home. Paul Fisher, a direct local lender with Certainty Home Lending, has many years of experience helping people buy homes. He's knowledgeable, experienced, and he'll work with you to find the best loan for your needs. Contact Paul Fisher today to get started on your home buying journey. He'll help you every step of the way, so you can relax and focus on finding your dream home. Visit www.loansbyfisher.com or call 817-308-7361 to schedule a consultation with Paul. MLS number 2018111.
Now back to the show.
Well, welcome back to the show. I think I'm going to start this segment with Harvey, because I know you do some work with youth organizations and stuff like that in the Wylie and Rockwall area. And so from a local relevance kind of standpoint, how does working with those youth programs enhance your brand's relevance in those areas?
Well, first of all, I don't necessarily look at it as increasing our brand. I think it's something that comes from our heart and that we really want to feed back into the younger generation, starting with that 16-year-old all the way up. I looked at my children, Scott, and I realized when they graduated high school, there was things that they were asking me, like, where do I put a stamp on an envelope? Where do I write the address on the envelope? Just how do I change a tire? There was just certain things that I realized that we messed up and we didn't share with this generation. We didn't show them how to do. And so a commitment me and my wife have made with the company is to strive to reach out to those young people and be that influence to them, not just as entrepreneurs in that case, but just in life in general.
And I think you going and started with, well, I don't really think that it's part of our brand, but it is, because it's who you are and it's that authenticity that you bring to it, that you're doing it for the right reason, but it still impacts on it tells people who you are. And it's like a magnet that draws people to you.
Right. I know our mission statement is to serve, obviously our community, to serve our employees and to serve our clients. But that's one way for our company to come in and serve to a generation that's coming up that I feel like it's very important for us all to do. Wrap around that generation and help them to grow and strive.
Awesome. Well, let me go to Ian on this one. I know you told us that you started in, I think, 19 doing mortgage. What's the story behind your decision to join Integrity Mortgage and focus on home loans? Was there a particular moment or?
Well, I knew that I'd always wanted to kind of jump into something where I knew I could, and it sounds so cliche, but make a difference of some kind, right? And I remember the first time I bought my home back in 2000, I think, goodness, was that 2013? That process when we bought our house in Wylie was honestly terrible. And I knew that, there had to be a better way. And so the next house we bought, we used Integrity Mortgage. And it was like, whoa, this experience is great. And I'm in the back of my head, I'm like, I think I would want to do this because this experience was so great on the most stressful part of my life, which is buying a home, right? And so after that, I bought another house with Integrity. And this is before I was even working there, right? And I'm like, all right, if I ever get into this world, this is where I'm going. And I came home one day and I told my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm quitting. I want to quit my job. And she's like, do it. So I did. And that's when I got into doing home loans. And I jumped in with Integrity Mortgage. Because like I said, if I was going to do it, that would be the company that I would do it with. And so I got into it. And then, to kind of bring it all back around into, brand relevancy stuff, right? Because in 2019, when I, got into this world, obviously I had nothing. I had no one, no leads coming in, nothing at all, right? So the first thing I did was I just took to social media immediately, introducing, hey, this is who I am now. This is what I'm doing. And then I put out reel after reel after reel on Facebook and started introducing myself to more people, hopefully in the area, right? And that's kind of what helped me build my business, was setting myself as, expert in mortgage, right? I mean, there's plenty of people who know way more than I do, right? But I set myself as an expert in mortgage, and that's what I ended up doing to kind of build my brand relevance. And it attracted people in the same field as I am, other loan officers, realtors, and they're like, hey, how are you doing this? And that's how we built this thing from ground zero to what it is today.
And social is such a big deal. Do the rest of y'all use social much?
Yes, always.
What do you
We got
do?
somebody in our office that does that. I'm not too good with it. I'm barely over that little threshold, but we definitely have somebody that is 100% good in our office.
How do you use social, Molly?
I use it for all of my advertising, like all my flyers get posted, all of my reels. If I have a special going on, everything that can be posted on social media is being posted on social media. Even my personal life, because people like to see what's going on when you're not at work. So I like to use it for literally everything.
Yeah, because it gives you additional touch points too. I mean, you talk about brand relevancy and things like that, right? So I look at it as everything that I put together, social media, content side, all those things are little soldiers that are always working for me behind the scenes, right? I'm sleeping and somebody's watching me prattle on about mortgages, right? So it really is a way to, continue your relevancy through everything else, right? Because social media is a really big aspect of things. right now, especially, right? So you got to do your TikToks, you got to do your reels, talk about a full-time job, right? And I do mortgage, you cut hair, you run Wylie Chamber, right? I mean, we got all these things where it's our job, but really what we are, you know, content creators that happen to offer a product, right? We are marketers that are, you know, doing hair or doing mortgages. And basically what I've done is created it and turned it into a repository for all questions that people might have during the mortgage process too, right? Because if it's 10 o'clock at night and you've got a burning question and you're not going to text your loan officer because you feel like you're invading their privacy, right? My TikTok literally has 99% of these topics covered. And I just say, hey, follow me on TikTok, follow me on Facebook, whatever. And if you have any questions, I mean, go on there and see if it's already been answered and you can watch it. And now I'm gaining more rapport while I'm fast asleep.
I'm going to jump in if you don't mind. And so this makes me think about at the core of anybody's business, brand relevance start with a few basic things. So professionalism, being on time, consultative, and that consultative piece that we can all get at the beginning. So we're not just, all right, let's say as a loan officer, you've got somebody calling in, because, you know, you're just kind of gathering information. All right, great. I'll get back to you with a rate. You know what I mean? That doesn't really, I mean, it helps them, but it doesn't really help them, you know, or someone comes in to see Molly and they want to get their hair done. And she's like, all right, well, you know, just let me fix it. And all I did was make you look exactly the same way you did when you walked in the door with a little short, you know, or whatever. But it's that consultative piece, and social media allows us a little bit of room to do that, not live. You know what I mean? Not face to face or belly to belly.
Mental versus the actual piece. Correct.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That education is a big deal, where before you either had to be teaching somewhere or someone had to be right in front of you. And now we can reach so many more people online.
And just from a didactic standpoint, it's called evergreen content, to where he can talk about a mortgage topic and it is educational. It is what you're talking about. It is the information people are wanting, and it really doesn't change a lot. You know, you talk about the underwriting process, or you talk about, you know, how long the process is going to take to go through the mortgage process. Those things are pretty static. So especially if you've got some static stuff, I do like a lot of the platforms. What platforms do y'all use for that, for getting your brand out there?
I mean,
we
Facebook,
mentioned TikTok, but
Facebook Reels has really been a big deal for me, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to capture people that are down a certain funnel, right? Much like anybody here, right? And if their, you know, video watches have been certain things in the area, right? Because I'll tag it with area plus whatever content is, it shows up to, you know, the right people, I'd like to think, right? And that's really been a game changer for me in everything. It's just trying to be consistent with Facebook Reels and putting those out there. TikTok's fine. It does its thing. It's a great repository. That's how I look at it for me personally. But Reach is more focused fire with what I get from Facebook Reels versus TikTok.
How about the rest of y'all?
I like Instagram personally. It's kind of the same thing. You can put your location, be more specific to your area, but also with Instagram, you can do hashtags. So if someone types in like, oh, hashtag orange hair, and then it's going to be like a list of orange hair, and then you're in the big feed. And that's really important to be in the creator feed.
Yeah, I'm a Facebooker, but I'm learning that in my industry, to actually get in front of the business owners, that LinkedIn would probably be better for me. So I'm striving to get better at that and really putting more detail into that as part of my social media platform.
On that one, I'll just do this, and then we're going to go to a break. We do stream this podcast live on LinkedIn, and you can put it on your LinkedIn. Just share it to your page, and it'll come up. And I think that's a great opportunity to get in front of those people and say, "Hey, I'm here. Here's what I do," and it gives them an opportunity to get to know you, to know who you are and what you're about. But we're going to go to a break. And then when we come back, we will go and get into what's the difference, where we talk about what's the difference between two different topics. So we'll see you in a few.
All right.
At the Community Difference Business Development Alliance, powered by the Difference Media LLC, our mission is to empower small business owners by transcending acceptable behaviors and outcomes into exceptional realms. We foster a culture of self-awareness, accountability, and proactive engagement, guiding individuals to recognize and overcome indifference towards transformative actions, habits, behaviors, and processes driving meaningful change. Through strategic networking, impactful content creation, and innovative top-of-mind strategies, we cultivate brand relevance and differentiation, enabling our partners and the Difference community to stand out in crowded markets. With a focus on building authentic connections, amplifying brand presence, and driving sustainable growth, we equip entrepreneurs with the tools and mindset to navigate the complexities of entrepreneurship with confidence, innovation, and resilience. Together, we aim to be the catalyst for difference makers, propelling them towards their highest potential and leaving a lasting impact on their businesses and communities. That's where our community podcasts come in. These podcasts lie directly at the intersection of innovative business development and community involvement, helping to bridge the gap between small business obscurity often seen in our communities. The community-based podcasts called the Community Difference Series are an integral part of integrating all facets of modern business development into a package of great content, positive impact branding, and top-of-mind presence, thus fulfilling the greater mission we set forth. When we set out to be difference makers, we can learn to make a difference and find the success and impact innately desired by all business owners and entrepreneurs. We are difference makers.
And now it's time for What's the Difference?
I was looking at that end of that last spot where it says hashtag difference makers, and it reminded me of what you said, that I was looking for some place where I could make a difference. And that's a pretty strong driving force, is being able to make a difference in somebody's world. So this segment is what's the difference? And I'm going to give you just a question, and I'm going to throw it open, and then there is like a textbook answer for it. I'm not going to say it's a right or a wrong answer. I'm going to say it's a textbook answer. But I've noticed that most of the time we don't need the textbook answer, but I'll give it anyway. So what's the difference between personal branding and self-promotion?
I mean, golly. I mean, I think of self-promotion, and I'm not trying to say anything negative, right? Where people will take a situation that may be, let's say, very like a death in the family, and try to turn it into something that is about their business and no longer that person, right? Mm-hmm. That is shameless self-promotion that only serves one person's need, right? And we see it a lot in different types of industries, right? So I believe, to me, it's taking advantage of a situation and turning it into something about you and not about someone else that has nothing to do with your business, has nothing to do with your brand, okay? And then, actual, true promotion, I mean, things like supporting the Wylie Pirates or Dub East related events, right? That's a good level of promotion, because it also promotes good at the same time, because you've sponsored something, you've done something active within the community. But I mean, for me, those are the kind of telltale heart differences between the two. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. Not yet.
Self-promotion just has a negative connotation when you hear it anyway. Like, we all cringed a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that, but every single one of us cringed. And we're like, ugh, it just feels negative, because we were taught that we're not supposed to be braggarts. We're not supposed to lift ourselves up. We're supposed to do the right thing and let those around us lift us up. And that's the difference.
I think what's behind it is really what the difference is. I mean, personal branding versus self-promotion. Why are you putting it out there? What is the purpose? What reaction are you trying to get? I do think that sometimes those lines are blurred. I think sometimes you end up crossing over from personal branding to self-promotion and back and forth. But ultimately for me, it's just what's behind it. What are you trying to get out there and why? Is this to fulfill your own personal need of, hey, whatever that might be? Or is it, you're really just trying to formulate like, hey, this is my branding. This is who I am. This is what my business does, that kind of thing. So I just think it's whatever the intention is behind it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like self-promotion can almost come off more boastful and not really relevant to your business sometimes, but I agree exactly with what you said.
Well, it's kind of in the word.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Well, it's just kind of in the words itself. I mean, self is about you, and personal is, it's been a relational, if you will. And I'm just a huge relational guy. I like to be able to build those relationships and not just be all about me and my business. Make it more about them and how can I serve them better.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, being a realtor, I think realtors are some of the biggest self-promoters that are out there. And I'll just say that. On our neighborhood Facebook page, we even have a rule that realtors aren't allowed to self-promote. If other people want to put you out there, that's cool, but you are not allowed to self-promote, because realtors, man, you give them a space and they'll take it. So the technical answer there is, personal branding involves strategically developing and communicating your unique value proposition, focusing on long-term reputation and influence. Self-promotion involves actively marketing yourself, often focusing on short-term recognition and visibility, sometimes without a cohesive long-term strategy. So, personal branding is, I think, a great way to go. Hey, look at me, I won this award. Hey, look at me, I got this thing. Hey, I'm the best. One of my real estate things is I'm the top realtor. Well, what are we basing that on? What are the metrics there? You're
You're
top.
just awesome, Scott.
What is the metric there? And there really isn't one. There's just if I can say that I'm the best at anything, then I can be the best, and that's not a good metric to work with.
Scott, that's why I always joke that I'm the number 2 lender in DFW because everyone else is number 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I think sometimes you do, you can put that stuff out there. And I mean, I don't think you run around, Scott, every day thinking, hey, I'm number 1. I mean, you definitely don't present that. I mean, not in any way, shape, or form, but it's okay to win an award or an accolade or whatever and be able to promote that. So I think that's where it's kind of a difficult, you just have to watch what's behind it. But Scott, now you're number 1. That's what I'm going to call you every Wednesday when I see you.
I think that goes back to what Janice said, though. It's okay to be number 1 if somebody else is telling you you're number 1.
Yeah.
If you're the one telling everybody else you're number 1, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Dang it. That's what I like to do on the weekends. Just, I'm number 1.
Okay, I'm going to ask one more. What's the difference between creating a legacy and achieving success?
Woo! I mean, legacy.
I didn't say they would be easy questions.
The never ending, and I'm trying to think of, I'm new to Wylie, so please forgive me. I'm trying to think of businesses within Wylie that have created more of a legacy than just, and you said that the second part was it's just success. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. What's the difference between creating a legacy and achieving success?
So go ahead, Molly.
Oh, sorry. But I think a legacy is something that carries on even after maybe you're not working there anymore, or you've moved on to something different, or even maybe after you've passed on. And where success is something that you've just kind of achieved. but your legacy is what's going to be continuous even after you. That's my personal perspective on it, but yeah.
Success can be based off of money. I mean,
Yeah.
what is your definition of success, really? I mean, for some people, success is, oh, I made $1 million this year. For some, it's, oh, I was able to be home when my kids got off the bus every day after school. And so, but I think legacy is where you feel it, right? I mean, this is what you did, how you wanted to leave, you know, just like you said, your workplace or this earth, right? How do you want people to view you and see you and talk about you for many years to come? They say you die twice, the day you actually pass, and then the last day that your name is set on the planet, right?
Right.
And ever since I've heard that, I thought, well, that's interesting. That ties right back into legacy. Like, I may be gone, but 20, 40, 100 years later, are people still talking about the impact that I made, and what impact was that?
Yeah, I agree. Success to me feels more internal, and legacy feels more external to what you've done for others.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Scott's business, FireBoss Realty. You know, his business could be successful, but his name could live on based off of his legacy and what he leaves behind. So it's not just about his business; it's about him. So I mean, that's what's.
And Ian was looking for hey, I'm trying to think of a Wylie business, but how about Christian Care Center?
Yeah.
What can you say about that? Success or legacy?
Legacy.
For sure, a legacy.
I think they do both. I mean,
I was going to say both, but
yeah, the legacy is unreal, right? And it'll carry on hopefully for as long as we're all around. And but at the same time, I do hope they're successful, and I hope they're able to provide food and supplies and everything that people need. I mean, ultimately, I think they've got both, and I think that Mr. Cooper did an amazing job doing it.
So, and I think I'm going to make you cry when I said that.
Stop. Y'all know that's easy to do.
That is, I think that's the actual definition. I have a definition here, but I think if you know anything about Mr. Cooper and what he has done with that particular organization, that is legacy. That is going to live on long after him, and people just love him because of what he did for others. So it's about time for us to wrap up. So I'm going to go around. We'll start with Molly, and if you've got any closing thoughts, but make sure that you tell people how to find you and how to contact you. And we'll just go around the room.
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Molly Lamar on both of those. And then I have a Vagaro page where you can book with me. Other than that, this was just a learning experience. So thank y'all for having me, but I was happy to be here.
You did great.
I appreciate you coming on. Ian?
Yeah, my name is Ian. You can find me on Facebook and at TikTok at the handle is at official Ian Jones. I could have made it more mortgage related, but hey, that's where we're at. That's where we're at, family. But yeah, no, I'm so thankful that I was able to make it here, hang out with you guys. And I wish nothing but absolute success for you guys and everything you're doing, because y'all are awesome people.
Miss Mary Ann?
Yes. So you can find me at the Wylie Area Chamber of Commerce. You can call up to the office anytime. My email is adsales@wylieChamber.org. You can also find me at the Smith Public Library every single Wednesday morning at 7:45. I try to be the first one there, although lately I have not been. I've seen a lot of wrapped cars in the parking lot before I'm getting there. So, but for our Business Connect, I am there every Wednesday, and I would love to meet anybody who is started a business, wanting to start a business, or just wanting to get plugged into the community. I feel like that's a great way to do it. Several of you guys attend that meeting, which I absolutely enjoy. So if you want to know more about the chamber or how you can get connected into the community as a whole, don't want to call, don't want to email, show up on Wednesday morning, Smith Public Library. I'll see you at 8 o'clock.
And that is a very good event in Business Connect. Janice, how do they get a hold of you?
So you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can go to my website at greenrootcapital.com, or give me a call at 972-768-4951.
And Harvey, Twilight Cleaning Services.
That's That's right. That's right. So you can find us obviously on the web at twilightcleaningservices.net. And you can also give us a call at 469-556-0341. And I'm also, the company and myself is on LinkedIn, and you can also find us on Facebook. So
awesome. Well, I have absolutely enjoyed today. Y'all were awesome. I enjoyed the conversation. Branding is a very important topic, and I really appreciate Molly being here. And anything we could do to support young people, man, I am all in on that because they are our future. So I appreciate y'all tuning in today, and we'll see you next time on The Community Difference Wylie.
Thank you for watching today's show.
The Community Difference Wylie is made possible by Scott Johnson with FireBoss Realty, Janice Greenly with Greenroot Capital, and by Harvey Loosier with Twilight Cleaning Services. The Community Difference Wylie. Together, we can make the difference.